Happy birthday. 52 and counting.
We're so thankful for you, Mom, and just grateful for what a great grandma you are to our kiddos, and just so excited to see what the future holds.
Love these grandbabies. Happy birthday.
Love that sweet grandbaby.
Meg, whatever it may be, you're always there for us. Have a listening ear, and never really putting us down. Just
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Monday, November 22nd. I am feeling a little bit better. I was gone for a few days. I'm sure you noticed. I've been battling a sinus infection and I've been sleeping and laying down a lot. And today's the first time I've literally worn makeup or even gotten dressed in 4 days. So I'm gonna fake it until I make it. That's kind of what Christine said last night on the new episode of Sister Wives. We will get into that in a second video, but the first video is about Michelle Duggar because she returned of Facebook and she made a book recommendation on her Facebook page. And she is getting destroyed. And a lot of people found her comments to be kind of, I don't know, maybe tone deaf given everything that's been happening with her son. So her post on Facebook said this: I just finished listening to this audiobook. This powerful book by Dr. Erwin Lutzer has been extremely helpful and thought-provoking. I highly recommend it to every Christian in America. And the book was We Will Not Be Silenced: Responding Courageously to Our Culture's Assault on Christianity. And it's a book that talks about, it's by Erwin W. Lutzer, and according to the book description, it says, each day you watch America turn further from Christian values and the core principles of liberty. It's frustrating to feel you can't assert biblical truth without facing condemnation, and fearful to witness outrage and victimhood replace respect and reason. Amidst the dissent, you can not only stay rooted in your own faith, but continue publicly testifying for Jesus. In We Will Not Be Silenced, Dr. Erwin W. Lutzer prepares you to live out your convictions against your growing tide of hostility, gain a better understanding of non-believers' legitimate hurts and concerns regarding issues like racism, sexism, and poverty, and identify the toxic responses secular culture disguises as solutions. In the process, you will see how you can show compassion and gentleness to those outside of the faith without affirming their beliefs. We Will Not Be Silenced will ready you to move beyond fear and boldly accept the challenges and representing Christ to be watching the world that needs him now more than ever. Okay, so you want to not be silenced about issues, and you want to not be silenced about, it's an interesting take. And I'm sure she feels like she's being silenced. But the thing is that I don't think this is about her believing that she has been silenced because of her Christianity, or maybe she does. I think she feels like Jim Bob that they have been silenced because of what Josh has done. And Jim Bob, the reason why I feel this way is because only a week ago or so, he was posting on his own website about his feelings about cancel culture. So Jim Bob Duggar has a new website, and on it, he talks about cancel culture and how it has ruined his family and how people want him to fade away from and shrink away. He said this: I will not allow the liberal left, social media, and fake news to define me and my family. Like so many other families, we have too faced crises, difficulties, and heartbreak. Cancel culture and the radical left want us to keep us from being involved in politics. They say because our family has faced problems, we should shrink away. This is why they are so often relentlessly unkind. But we cannot sit on the sidelines during a time when one of America's most important battles is taking place. We are devoted to doing our part in making a difference for our children and grandchildren. So on his website, he is angry because he says people want him to shrink away because his family had a problem. And then this week, Michelle is posting a book which talks about how you will not be silenced, and she believes there's some sort of, world that hates Christianity. And maybe there's, pushback, but Christians as a whole, I just want to recognize, encompass the vast majority of people in the United States. So according to Pew Forum, which does statistics and studies on, everything, Pew Research, they say 70% of Americans identify as Christians. 70%, 70.6%. 25% of those are evangelicals, like the Duggars. There's Protestants that represent 14%, Catholics that represent 20%. So evangelicals hold a larger base now than Catholics. So 70% of the United States recognizes or is in some breath considered Christian in some context, whereas only 22% claim that they are unaffiliated, and 15% say they are nothing in particular. So 30% are none. 70% are Christian. I don't know that it's fair to say that the 30% that are none or don't affiliate are larger than the Christians, because we're not. Now, it might feel like there's a shift going on in the tides, but I don't think it's a all-out war on Christianity at all. That's just my opinion. I don't know where she's coming from. But the truth of the matter here is that her opinions don't come off as that she's upset about Christianity, and more so she's upset about what's happened to her family. And I think that when we talk about the Duggars, you can never underestimate why they share things or why they talk about things. Even in that book, it says that, real hurts like racism, sexism, and poverty. But then it wants you to reject what the solutions are by secular culture. So they don't want you to believe that sexism is real, and they don't believe that racism is a thing. They believe that God would never see that, and so therefore it's a construct that we don't understand, and it's a construct we've created, which is just not reality. So Michelle's "we won't be silenced" to me doesn't feel like she's being silenced as a Christian. I feel like she's saying my family's been silenced, and I think she believes that her family is being silenced because of her faith, and that's really not why people have reacted to the Duggars in the way that they have. I don't think that people would care about the Duggars and their faith if they weren't walking in such a hypocritical place where they espouse such traditional family values and then they can't even live that out in their regular lives, and they have this vein of superiority where they feel like because they're following these rules they are somehow better than everybody else. And not to mention that they have used their platform for over 20 years to try to convert people into Christianity. So who's really being manipulated here? Are the public or are the Duggars? The public is not responding to the Duggars because of their faith. The Duggars are being responded to because of the actions of Josh and the perceived belief of what happened with the daughters. And in the comments, it was very clear that people were not impressed with her playback to the world of it's everyone else's fault, it's persecution, we're the victims. One person said, "Christians are not oppressed. You look goofy." Someone else said, "What about your sons on children?" Valid point. "You guys are a joke to Christianity," someone else said. "The audacity of you is astounding." Someone posted a photograph of Josh with his brothers with Josh in front of a laptop. One person said this, "I'm not 100% sure you know what assault is. There is no assault on Christianity, but there is an assault on the children under your roof. Maybe look for some audiobooks and resources for yourself and some relating to trauma for your daughters." I actually agree with that. Another person said, "I really try to like them, but to just brush an assault on your daughters from your oldest son, I won't be taking your advice on recommendations on anything. Are your son's acts in the past Christian-like?" I said, "What about the assaults on your daughters by your son. You're both a joke as parents. Your daughters were silenced. So people are more and more and more starting to really speak up for the girls. Even if the girls don't acknowledge that they need to be spoken up for, they probably don't even realize the magnitude of what their parents have done. Or maybe they have and they just literally have not told us. Maybe they just don't want to talk about it. Maybe they don't even understand the concept of what their parents did or what their brothers did based on how they grew up. But people looking at a situation and saying that what happened to the girls is not fair, and then you continue to support your son, just obviously you've shunned your daughter, who was one of the girls that your son did this to. She spoke out to you. She spoke out against what was happening to her. She confronted you about being paid, and she's the one that's shunned, and she's the one that's labeled a danger to the family, but Josh is not. Josh is somehow not labeled the dangerous one. His wife and his children are still highly supported by you. The kids are living in the Duggars' house. Anna is financially being supported by the Duggars. It's very clear, at least to most people with a brain, that the Duggars are likely funding the defense of Josh Duggar. How else would he be able to afford this? And you come back to this fact of they're the ones that are wanting to be silenced, or they're the ones that believe that they're silenced. I don't agree with cancel culture. I think I've been clear that even if I don't agree with the Duggars, I don't agree that anyone should be silenced. I believe everyone should be able to speak whatever it is that they have on their minds, and they should be able to take the feedback they're given, if it's good or bad. And if you don't like a comment on your social media, you have every right to delete it. You don't have to read it. You don't have to deal with it. You can block people if you don't want to hear what they have to say. That's totally up to that's your right. I execute that as a creator myself. But I do think that if you're going to be out there and you're going to put yourself out there and you're going to have a secret like the Duggars and you're going to have a family like the Duggars, you can't blame everyone else for reacting to what's happened. And when a son like Josh is arrested for such atrocious crimes and being accused of the things that he's been accused of, I think it's going to be really hard for anyone to have sympathy, simply because there's a pattern of behavior of the girls not being given any sort of protection from their parents. Even now, Jim Bob is going to be subpoenaed to be a witness for the prosecution, and he is apparently avoiding the prosecutors and the feds. He doesn't want to testify. He wants to fade out into obscurity. He wants to not help in that respect, which could be of great help to his daughters. But instead would rather ignore the situation and not be a help to his daughters and be a help to his sons indirectly. It doesn't make sense. So it's not cancel culture. I believe it's called accountability. And when you've made a mistake like this, I think the biggest thing that anyone can do as a Christian, or just as a good person, you don't even have to be a Christian, is to apologize, to acknowledge what it is that you've done, or to just accept it. Okay, this is where we're at. This is what we deserve right now. We did make a mistake, but no place at any time has there been an acknowledgement of any mistakes here. None at all. Instead, it's just been a doubling down. We've done everything, we did everything, we're perfect. They don't say that, but we did everything possible. No acknowledgement that we've made mistakes. This is totally messed up. No acknowledgements for the victims, no acknowledgements for the girls, nothing. So that's what I have for this Michelle Duggar getting her butt chewed out by people on social media because she will not be silenced. What are your thoughts on it? Put yourself outside of the mindset that it has anything to do with Christianity, and put yourself in Michelle's shoes where she feels like she's lost her platform. Has she really lost her platform? Is she really being silenced when people hear her and are still in the masses commenting, and she gets thousands of likes on every single post? Is that really truly being silenced? Is it just that she lost her show that she feels like she's being silenced? Because as far as I know, they still have over 1 million followers on Instagram. That's not silenced to me. Silenced would be having no platform, being removed from Instagram, being removed from Facebook. They have all of their platforms. They have all the ways to make money still outside of TLC. So have they really been silenced, or do they just want to be the victims? And how does that make you feel about the real victims in this story? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.